right, here's the update from the Thornton Township meeting that wasn't really a Thornton Township meeting because there was no quorum, because yet again, Chris and Carmen did not come. They put out the statement beforehand to let everybody know, and everybody's out there cheering. Yay! Oh, okay. Big Tiff out here giving another soliloquy like she always does, looking half damn crazy, but at least it wasn't as long as it typically is. But afterwards, everybody started carrying on, even though they were supposed to clear the room. But they was in there going after Heavy D's bigger younger brother because of this. He put this allegedly horrible thing up about Miss Vivian and what he's saying. You can see it. We already discussed it. His fat ass is out here causing havoc all over the daggone place. He was there all day earlier because of the election to get people off the ballot, because even though Tiff said, meet me at the PO, she got to do this backdoor way to get everybody off, even though she's off because she didn't do what she was supposed to do. But that doesn't matter. They got to point out what everybody else didn't do to get them off. And so this is what they spent all day doing. Shout out to Burgundy Blue Commentary for covering all that yesterday damn day, because ain't no way these people half damn crazy. Child, this is what happened.
Says a shutdown would mean ceasing assistance programs for seniors and after-school programs for children, and potentially laying off more than 100 township workers.
It's kind of hurtful to even mention the potential of layoffs. I don't want that. I want our people to work. It's the holiday season.
The threat of a shutdown comes as a Thornton Township meeting for the 5th time in recent weeks had to be canceled because of a lack of a quorum. The result of trustees Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez not showing up. Their aim is to block Supervisor Tiffany Henyard from appointing someone to a vacant trustee position who could provide tie-breaking votes.
The misspending of funds. You know, we've been working hard to keep tabs on things like that. So if she gets this a third vote, it's going to go right back to all that other stuff that was going on previously.
What we're going to do right here is go back. Way back into time.
Supervisor passed away. An appointment had to be made to fill his remaining term.
Right.
So it was up to the trustees at that time to meet and put forth candidates and arrive at a decision about who would fill Supervisor Zuccarelli's term.
March 1, 2022, headline, Confusion Marks the Attempted Appointment of Zuccarelli Replacement. This is a story that you wrote.
Yeah, I was at this meeting, and this was, I think, the 5th or 6th meeting that the trustees had gone through since Frank's passing.
I'm sure you're asking, why are you showing this? Why are you bringing this up? Because I want to make sure that people don't miss the fact that everything ain't Tiffany's fault. And you know, I can't stand her. However, you heard what they say, and this is the Lansing Journal, and everyone down there trusts the Lansing Journal. And guess what? They want to act like everything is Tiffany's fault, and it is not. This is where it all started, at least with supervisorship.
And they still had not managed to come up with a recommended replacement that they could all agree on.
Yeah.
And there is a deadline for this.
Yeah.
I think they had 60 days, and they were aware of this deadline, and still things went right up to the deadline.
That's right.
So on March 1, they tried again to put forth nominations and agree, and the whole meeting was very confusing, and nothing came out of it.
So you mean to tell me that there was a meeting that Tiffany Henyard wasn't in charge of that was chaotic and crazy and basically a clown show? They didn't know what they were doing. A whole 60 days, all these experienced people, all these experienced trustees that know what they're doing. They're working in government and they couldn't get it together. And she wasn't on the board at that time. She wasn't a trustee. She wasn't a supervisor. And it was confusing. The Lansing Journal just said it. We can trust them, right?
The next meeting happened on March 3.
That's right.
48 hours notice is required whenever you have a public meeting, and so the meeting couldn't start until I think 10:30 or 10:55 in order to fulfill that 48-hour requirement and still accomplish the goal of appointing a supervisor before the midnight deadline.
On March 3. So yes, I started at 10:55. They had exactly an hour and 5 minutes.
rushing, an hour and 5 minutes. They put that 48-hour notice out at like, I guess, 10 something at night. Tiffany didn't have anything to do with it. They wanted to rush so bad, the reason should be why. Everybody wants to forget this. You don't want to ask. And now y'all here praising daggone Chris Gonzalez like he doing something wonderful. He is part of the reason, a big reason why y'all are even in this daggone mess. But just whatever, as long as it's something against Tiffany, just forget it all. Listen, these people were chaotic and confused well before her. That's not me defending Tiffany. That is the truth. Those are the facts. Y'all can ignore it all you want to. When you end up in the same daggone situation, child, we just gonna say the same thing as Baltimore. You voted for it.
To appoint a new supervisor, because if they didn't, it would go to the larger township public at large would vote for who they wanted to be the next supervisor.
And it was chaos.
Yeah.
And out of that, finally, the 9th person nominated was Tiffany Henyard.
11:48 p.m. Trustee Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard, and 11:48 p.m. Trustee Gonzalez nominated Tiffany Henyard, and we have that video. I believe we are the only video that's been published by the media of that moment, and we'll show it to you.
11:49.
So what was the vote?
11:49. I nominate Tiffany Henyard for Township Supervisor.
You all are making a mockery out of this one here. This is not right. Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Gray Everett?
Yes.
She has to sign the warrant, and then she's got to take the oath in 9 minutes. Let's go.
Appointed Tiffany to fulfill Frank's role.
That's correct.
And that's the way the system is set up. The trustees did not want it to go to the people.
Correct.
For whatever reason.
The trustees did not want it to go to the people, correct, for whatever reason.
The trustees did not want it to go to the people, correct, for whatever reason.
The trustees did not want it to go to the people.
Correct.
For whatever reason.
With the board unable to conduct business, Henyard says the township can't renew its insurance, and that's forcing the shutdown.
We already spoke to the lawyers, and then we will start making preparations today. So tomorrow will be the first day, probably when our buildings will get shut down. The seniors, they utilize the transportation to go to dialysis, to the doctor, to the store, things of that nature.
The township has also had to cancel its annual holiday toy giveaway this weekend that helps hundreds of families. But Gonzalez says Henyard, who's under FBI scrutiny for her handling of township finances, and those in Dalton, where she's mayor, could renew the insurance without convening a meeting. And it's the insurers who've chosen not to renew the township.
It all comes down to the dysfunction of this administration.
All this comes as Henyard is suing Thornton Township Democrats for their caucus vote earlier this month that left her off the April ballot for township supervisor.
Child, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Just a little bit of memory lane to remember how we got here, while people out here praising Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle and they doing the right thing. Now, Tiffany is over here. She is a hypocrite. Let's not get it twisted. She's demanding and saying that they wrong for not coming in, but never said that over there when it came to Ann. So as long as she's in charge, of course, then she's in charge and everything is everything. But like I said, just because y'all don't have the advantage, y'all don't want to come in. This is your job. This is what you get paid for. Child, when y'all was having the advantage, you had no problem with going in there. They didn't let the people do it before. Now everybody's all self-righteous. I'm just going to say because of the alleged FBI scrutiny and everyone else that's looking into this and what's going on down here in this town. I just don't think it's because of they got right with the Lord and they just want to do the right thing. I think people just don't want to go to jail. But what the hell do I know? This is just me on the outside looking in. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I see you on the next one.
Y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail. Delgado, unasked that seat. Unasked that seat. Unasked that seat.
To express my deepest gratitude to Tiffany Henier and her team for their commendable efforts to better our community.
Listen, come here. Shut your stupid ass up. Say that, folks. Dumb ass, say it.